What's it talking about? Unsupported. Oh boy, what is this thing here? I don't know. Sometimes this YouTube thing, man. It's very strange. It says live, but it's not. It seems to be working. Now, why is that? You see me now? You hear me? You hear me, everyone? I can hear you. Yeah. Oh, you can hear me. There was an issue before. I don't know what happened. It said something about my. It said something about my settings. This doesn't look right to me, but something's rough. I don't know how they sometimes there's updates, and then the software doesn't seem to. All software changes, anyways. There's always some issues that you didn't foresee happen. Hello, hello. So everyone can hear you fine. Okay, you can hear. What about C? Can you see the screen? Stream resume. The stream is continue. Yeah, but can you see? Do you see me properly? And I don't know. Like it's something is off about this. Like I should have such clear pictures. I don't know why it's and stream continuing. You top left, yeah, of course. Yeah, I know. You can see me. I'm talking about this. Is the picture clear? Does the picture look clear to you? Because it doesn't look clear to me. So Lewis says, when you say yes, can you see the picture of me clearly? The picture of the market clearly. Hi, so yeah. So yes, okay. Same with you, David. Perfectly clear. The picture, perfect. Okay. Maybe it's just on my side. All right, so we're going to talk about the market. So what's happening with the market is that we haven't received a key signal from the SPY. Now, I mean, today's recovery was amazing, was incredible, and it happened because the big picture, the market wants higher. But what's still happening is still the market isn't. There's still political issues that, again, are not under our control. What's clear to me is the market wants higher prices. And let's take Amazon for example here, AMZN. Now, here's the weekly. You can see here's the weekly bar. Okay, as you can see, they even with all this negativity, Amazon remains higher. So the big picture, even though Amazon doesn't guarantee that we go up higher this week, that's what it does favor. And in fact, that's what happened. Let's look at the daily here, and you can see that the Amazon, if the market was so bearish, explain to me, and this is where I want to explain something of why I call most people, why my system is more based on what's the market saying, adaptive thinking, and also, what's the other word I wanted to say here? Adaptive thinking. It's like when you believe in something, right? You're focused. Sorry, focused adaptive thinking. That's what the focused. Okay. So Amazon did. Imagine this. Amazon on Friday. Now, sorry, on Monday was up, pulled back, started lower, and only rose higher. Now, is that telling you? Is that possible in a market that's really negative? In this case, no. But what we have now is a market that has some political issues. As soon as they are rectified, anything magical happens. So your strategy, when you're taking the right signals, you're prepared to catch those gains, right? The right way, right? Because then there's going to be times when the market trends properly, but you're also taking the right signals, right? Where a lot of people who are thinking like how the market is now are going to be getting out of positions when they should be holding. Like sometimes we need to get out of positions and sometimes we do not. And no matter what, even if you do, and I keep saying this to people, even if you do all the right things, right, you're still going to have losses here and there because there's nothing 100%. And what my metrics show is that when you do the right things, it's like I give an example. I bring I bring this stock up here because it's a great. Now, I mean, it's out of favor now because things have changed. You know, first of all, one of the reasons why I think that FedEx isn't out of favor now is simply because Amazon has found better ways to do their shipping without them. Because when Amazon was in the picture, okay, now here's Amazon. So here's my point. So just like here, back in 2017, okay, we had a market where a lot of people were thinking, well, there were a lot of bearish people out there, okay? Now, the bearish people wanted to short the market because they are not listening to the signals. So much like sometimes so what happened is they're shorting it, but the market really wants to go higher, and they miss out on incredible moves. Like, believe it or not, like just being in, even though we were losing for about a week or two holding this position, it ended up being 1,000% winner. Okay, and so I tell this story because it happens all the time. It's people don't realize that the market is going to have some negative zones, and your method may not do well temporarily, but then because you're doing the right methods, then the big gains come because you're prepared mentally to catch it and strategy wise to catch it, because your strategy is the same whether the trade works or not. It's just that you have to adapt against what kind of market conditions are. And these market conditions, of course, if the market was to say something positive, what it wants to hear, we can get, like, remember we had that 1,000, let's talk about this here. So I'm going to put up the SPY here. And I called this. Now nobody said anything like this, but let's recall this here. The market was very negative, okay? So look at this day over here. The SPY was 234. While it was going down, I called for a violent reversal, and we got that right here, right? So here's your 234, and then next day, so we got 1,300 point run, and they said it was the biggest in history. And why could I call this? Because I looked at market dynamics, okay, which is what most people can't do. This is why I talk about scalpers and what I do. This is big picture thinking. Now, why can I call these things correctly over and over again and make great gains? Because I read the market. Was I losing in some positions as the market was going down temporarily, but then I regained it so quickly? Because the big picture, just like I was in an Amazon plan that went against, like we put up Amazon, I'll put that after, and then went forward. And the reality was I was right, the big picture. Now sometimes, even when you're right, the big picture, there's going to be some what we are political tensions, which can skew signals that are correct. But listen, if the market was so bearish, it wouldn't. Now think about this carefully. If the market was so bearish, and believe me, people were very bearish over here, how do you explain that? It wasn't, you get snapback rallies, but that wasn't a regular snapback rally. It was like, it was compressed of the of the wrong information, a lot of people blowing things out of proportion, right? Regardless of a lot of things, that reason why the market's even having issues and is not higher already that it deserves to be, it's due to political issues. Has nothing to do with the earnings of the companies. And I keep saying this, right? BA monster winner. Look at. I want to prove another point here. So let's talk about BA here, guys. This is education here, okay? So truth be told, I can tell you, if we were to go, we got to look at a weekly chart because I'm so right. The big picture, it's just crazy, right? Crazy correct. So this is a true story. So when BA was in this area, 75, the 186s, I call for higher prices and make plans over here, okay? And I have them documented on my YouTube channel, okay? And I'm going to go to my YouTube channel. Listen, people, I'm going to show you what to do. In my live streams, it's going to be educational, talking about plans, talking about what's going on in the market, and answering questions when I have some time. But let's reality. Now, who is correct still to this day? I had people scoffing at me, telling me I'm crazy when BA was at 200, saying that it was going to go higher. To this day, it is still a $323 stock. Now, why is that? In my opinion, the stock deserves to be 400 plus. Why does the market? Why it will go when the right time comes? Once all the baloney is out of the picture, Amazon BA is going to be a $400+ stock. So we'll have this documented on my live stream. And unless there's a market an issue right now, it still stands, in my opinion, that I will be looking at new other metrics. But this is a stock that deserves to be in the $400 area, right? And that's because they have crazy earnings. They're making great money. They have orders. It's a company of growth, and so. But it wasn't about the technical fundamentals that I led. It was what the market was saying about the stock. And it obviously the biggest money was made, people. Let's think about this again. The biggest money was made long. The bulls, or the people who know how to go long, get the right way. Obviously, whoever was shorting all this, and we know there's some people I talked about, they don't know what they're doing because they're wrong the big picture. See, you want to emulate what my system emulates what the successful traders do, except obviously a lot of people just can't hold a lot of expensive stocks and just hold them and make the gains, or buy a lot of BA. But with options, with the right, you have to be actually better than those people, which is what I'm trying to explain. Better. You have to be better than the people who have the kind of money where they can hold through anything, but you want to have the right mindset of those people that are investing that way. Like we give an example like Warren Buffett. Obviously, you can't invest like Warren Buffett, but what my system dwells is looking at the big picture. In other words, what's in our favor and looking for those signals and taking them. Now, sometimes, even though we're right, we're going to have a little bit of. And even the options that I choose actually win. And I'll give you this example. I'm going to put up BA here, people. There's more. I'm going to talk about BA and our key stocks with stories of fact. So I'm going to talk about a true story here. So we were in a position in BA. Now we actually, exactly. We went in on this day here. Truth be told, and it was actually something I did was an early signal, but the signal was correct because BA was to go higher, right? But it didn't go higher. What happened was, but I had the options that had the time. They were the 350 calls. Now, I'm going to tell you a true story. They actually were against me about, at this point in time, maybe 80%. But let's count the days here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But because the direction in the big picture was correct in how I look at everything, it ended up being at this high here. Look what the high was. So remember, we were in 350 calls. The high was 369. So they became 100% gainers where I took my profits, right? Because of time of the options, right? Then we got that pullback, and we haven't had any good signals, or we've had everything. You see the market. If we look at where the stock is, it is still higher than when we had all the negativity that drove it down. It's a stock in reality wants to go higher. Now, I'm going to talk about some other metrics, people. Why is my system better than most out there? What I do, some people say to me, I want to answer a question about, people say, what about Netflix? Why are we going into Netflix? Well, let me explain you one of my system rules. What I try to do is I focus on what's the best stocks in our favor and that are speaking to me with more of my rules, right? So there's a lot of facts. Anytime I make a plan or I tell us to get in something, right, there's a lot that goes behind it. This is why we will always win the big picture, even when we're going to have some setbacks here and there. But if the setbacks are due to political issues and not because of market dynamics, then you're always going to win, right? And that's what we do. We avoid, we go with what the market is saying. Just like I took the SPY when I warned about the SPY needing to hit 260, and it did that, right? So, you know, we are right the big picture majority of the time, but there's no way to be 100% correct due to factors, unknown factors that nobody knows, right? A lot of people, they think they can do, but they never will catch the big moves because their mind is designed to catch that little blip, but then they miss out on monstrous gains. And I can tell you stories, for example, of people that could have made, for example, instead of $20,000 gains, they could have made $100,000 gains. But because they sold when they weren't supposed to hold, right? Because they treated the market the same as it was when it was difficult. The market changes, you need to adapt. And this is why I call a new term adaptive focus. So, does it mean that we trade the same way all the time? No. This is where the adaptive process comes, and then with the best possible opportunity. So back to Nvidia or Netflix. So let's talk about why I chose BA and why we were able to win even though it went against us. This is an example. This is an education, right? So let's think about this here. The low of this stock was 296. Percentage-wise, this moves when it wants to move. It had the signal. Okay, it gave a signal, one of my signals, except we had to wait a little bit more. We could have gotten much better prices and got it better. But the point was is that the signal was correct, even though you can have what's called things go against you. But truth be told, I documented me holding this position from loss to gain. Documented. Anyways, with great gains. Anyways. But if you look at the low, it's 296, right? And so it had a 70 plus point swing in how many days, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, okay? So then we take a look at something like Netflix, right? Or Nvidia, or forget about Netflix. Let's talk about Nvidia for now. So Nvidia, on the other hand, when we had the issues, it didn't have the same power as percentage-wise as BA, right? You can see that, right? So if you see, it's not as strong as BA, and nor did it have the same power. So there's people who want to go long the position. Now let's say we did the same thing. Percentage-wise, it never had the same powerful swing. You can see that in the BA move, right? So we take BA, even if the scaling is the same. There's the scaling is the same, okay? But you can see the way I show it, the movement power was more. And so I chose BA as a reversal play over something like Nvidia. And that is a difference of my strategy too. Not only do we choose the best possibilities, but we do so with a strategy, with the right options, and targets, and where BA hit my targets. We hit the targets I had told of the previous plan, even though it went against. And that, my friends, that is real skill. That's how you become very well off. Through skill. Luck always, listen, a lot of scalpers, they get what I call lucky. But luck always runs out. Listen, I tell you a true story. Think about this here. There was a, here's the SPY. There was a clown, and I'm going to go to the weekly chart. I want to show you what I'm talking about. So the clown said that, or clowns, we'll say clowns, a lot of clowns out there. They said that the SPY was too high at 225, and that was back in 2017, and I didn't. So to this day, the SPY is still much higher than that point, even though it's gone through all the turmoil, because it's going to go where it needs to go. So it's still, if we look at from 2016, I called a reversal back in the February in this zone over here, okay? And you could see, I can assure you, people were extremely bearish back. Anybody knows anything about the market, or if you want to figure anything about the market, if you don't know about February 11, 2016, February 10, February 9, the February zone of 2016, you don't have any experience in the market. But if you want to dwell on how bearish it was, you had like some, we had Carl Icahn calling for a market disaster. It was gonna, like, he made it sound, I swear to you guys, people, that the market was gonna fall go to 100 to nothing. I'm no joke. So billionaire, okay, because he wants to assume he's gonna. Who knows more than? Listen, people. I keep saying this too. Who knows more? You or the market? Listen, it outclasses billionaires, the market. It outclasses, it doesn't matter how much money you have. The market outclasses everybody, okay? So I decided, so how do I make the most money with a skill by working with the market? And therefore, you need rules. And I've demonstrated on my, so now I'm going to go to my YouTube channel. Let me take a look at if anybody said anything. Time to buy Apple. Well, now, yeah, there's no concern of BA. Apple, on the other hand, we'll have to see. So we'll put up Apple here. I'll show you. Now, it happens to be on these charts that came up. It's not the only reason, but it has shown up. Now, let's talk about Apple here, people. I want to talk about why guessers are guessers, like scalpers or people who guess or who assume. And then when the market happens to come down for political reasons, they think that they have some skill when they don't. Now, let me assure you this. I have to educate people because a lot of people don't realize this. A lot of people are misled by phony people out there. Now, truth be told, there was a phony baloney when Apple was going up. But don't forget, they thought that Apple was too high at 140. Quick buy Apple. Now, the same people that are bearish Apple or negative Apple said that Apple wasn't innovative and all these things, and Apple goes to $227. My point being here is, people, nobody knows really anything. They don't really know anything. Nobody knows anything. Okay. Carl Icahn doesn't know nothing. I mean, he bailed Apple, and Apple, he really doubled his money had he just held the position. What he said was Apple's a no-brainer to 200. Well, he didn't hold that position, right? He didn't have the mindset to see it. He overlooked, all the facts or the time, or assumed, just like he assumed in 2016 he was wrong about the market collapse, and he was wrong about Apple not going to 200, right? There are massive lessons from someone like Carl Icahn of how wrong. Why is he so wrong? Why is he massively wrong? Well, first of all, he can afford to be massively wrong, right? But the key is that people, what I want to say is, it doesn't matter who you are, okay? When you try to assume you know more than the market, first you say that something's going to happen, then you pull the plug, and then it goes massively the opposite way. Usually when I give up on something or I'm saying something negative, it goes bad, the situation. Like I called the SPY, almost like the way I call things is almost there isn't anybody that calls it like me in terms of the big picture. No, absolutely no one can do that. They can do the small little, one day little plops, but when it comes to the big picture, listen, the big picture always wins. This is the big key here. You see, it's just like, let me ask you something. You're an investor in Amazon. I want to ask you people, I want to educate some people a little bit. I want you to think about this carefully. And this is how I think anyways. I want to be the guy who understands the big picture. And this is the big picture. Who was an investor in 2000 and understood the big picture of Amazon? Who's the winner? They were at $36. Oh, the bearish clowns, they made the little bit of the little scalper gains, but the winners, they wouldn't catch this because they're bearish all the time, right? The bearish scalpers, they can't catch. So the big money is always made by the big picture thinker, right? There's no doubt about it. Like I show it, I prove it, right? Anybody says to me, no, well, you don't understand what you're talking about, right? I've proven it right over here. It's simple chart. Who made the most money? The longs. Who it's what makes the market. The right kind of stocks builds the market. If no one's investing in building, there isn't anything to short, right? There's nothing to short. The only things that go down are things that get inflated, and there are bad stocks out there, and this is true, right? But you can't equate a bad stock. You can't say, well, because Amazon is high or BA is high, that it should go down. Why? Sure, it can go down, but why should it just go down to nothing like bad stocks? The bad stock deserves to go down because, I mean, there are stocks that I would agree that first they don't trade with the right option volumes, the volumes, you know, and those stocks deserve to go down. But then there's key stocks that what makes the market. That's why you have SPY 500, right? Those companies are companies that we look for growth, right? And so the SPY goes higher. It's going higher for a specific reason. When someone says it's too high, they don't know anything. Nobody knows. The market will have its reasons why it's going to pull things down and up. All we can do is try to make money in the rules of the market, and that's what my system capitalizes. How do we... So I try to focus on the stocks that make the most sense, basically. Okay. Let me see here. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Pavel. I wouldn't average down right now. What I would be doing when it comes to the stocks is we need some winning. Like when things start working, what I do. I had a good question there. So averaging, I usually don't average down, and the reason being is this. I try to hold positions. I average down very rarely because my system is we get in, we hold, we make money, we get out, we go into a new position or another option or another plan, whatever, the next best stock, right? Because making 100% gains here, 100%, it adds up, right? But when things don't work, start working, even when you do all the right things or don't go far enough or signals are mixed, you want things to first start working and then make money off of the consistency that will come. Because when things are inconsistent like this, you don't want to go too big. Now, we've been able to make money back. Like, for example, I had Amazon go against, right? Massively against, and it went 4. Why did it go 4, Amazon? Why did Amazon go 4? Let's put up Amazon the daily. Because I'm right, the big picture. Listen, what has Amazon been doing with all this negativity? They want it to go higher. Amazon, they want to... Listen, if Amazon gives all the right signals, Amazon is a $2,200 stock, $2,400 stock. That's where they're going to take it. The big picture of things, right? Once the market sorts out everything, this kind of stock, this is a company that's a leader in what they do. They are the best. When you understand what this company does, how they do things. They know how to get people to spend money. People are Amazon. They spend money like when they shouldn't even spend money. Amazon has figured a way to make people spend money. You know, and I bet you anybody out there that they're like, yeah, you know, they're called Amazon. They're on Amazon crack, we'll call it, except they can't. You know, you're not on a drug. But they buy Amazon products like crazy. You know, Amazon. Listen, Amazon almost makes it. You know, there's a thing like I'm gonna give you an offer you can't refuse. And it's like they're almost that powerful like that. They give you an offer you can't refuse. You know, I remember, like, for example, buying something from Amazon, and it said to me, it gave me a choice. You can pay $40 for the shipping, or you can get it for free and, you know, subscribe to our Prime, Amazon Prime, and get it for free for 30 days. And you get your shipping for free instead of paying. Or you could pay $40 to get this item. You know, they gave that offer. So think about this, people. Look how powerful that was. It almost made me like, it's like, okay, I get to get Amazon Prime for free, and I'm getting shipping for free. It's a no-brainer, right? You're up against a company that knows how to make money. That's why Amazon is where it is now. eBay, They took away eBay. Let's put up eBay, people. So you see how I think and I think at metrics that people don't use these kind of metrics, but there's all these things in your face. So look at eBay. So if we go to the let's go to a monthly chart of do you think the market doesn't see these things? The market sees everything. Listen. So look, eBay. Let's look at eBay's growth. In 2000, eBay was a 650 stock, but it's only at 38. Its growth is nowhere near Amazon, and it's nowhere near Amazon's growth, right? Because whatever Amazon does, they even took away what they do. Like there's certain things they do, they took that away from them too, Amazon. Amazon wasn't always making money, but what Amazon was doing was refining, like what I do, refining their technique, their focus. And even with the shipping, they have a sophisticated shipping process. They have people, whatever. It's not like UPS ships. They got all kinds of people taking their orders to ship products. They figured a system out. And people are just waiting. They probably got clusters of areas. And not only do they ship the product to your door, they take a picture and tell you, hey, look, your item arrived. These are things that never were done before, right? But they fine crafted their, and it's the same thing like what I do. I fine craft my craft, right? That we can't lose the big picture if we consistently focus on the market. We're going to have some downturns, but I've gotten out of, listen, many times I'm in positions that are against me. I'm doing the right things. I hold because I see that I'm right. I write the big picture and I get my money just like B8. So I'm trying to explain to you that big picture thinking is the only way to go. I have people who message me saying, I'm tired of the baby scalping. A lot of scalpers, they make money 1 month and then they're losing for 3 months, 4 months later because the method doesn't work. And then they get out, they miss out, they go crazy, mentally crazy. No. Focused, same difference. I'm focused all the time. I don't let emotions, I look at things like with Amazon. I said to people, listen, no truth of a lie here. Let's put up Amazon, AMZN. Okay. Amazon, give me an example. Amazon was down this morning. What I said to the people, listen, I'm holding Amazon because I'm going to look for I'm going to see where we are, what happens, how we handle support numbers, and I posted the numbers, and based on my numbers, it became very clear that Amazon can reverse, right? And instead of panicking like some people, the options were against only to go positive, not a big deal. They went positive about maybe 10-15%. But the difference is that I was right the big picture, and the money, even though there was a loss, the money came back because we were right the big picture, right? And that's the reality of it, is that, and sometimes you can be right the big picture. What happens is you're going to be wrong on that one trade, and you have to go buy another week out or a month out option. The signal comes again and it pays you your loss, and then 200-300% more because we're on the right. But if you're not focusing on catching that move, right? So you sometimes we take a loss only to make a massive gains, and I've done this many times, people. I've had positions like Google L going against us 80% only to go for us 200%, and we're talking about like large. So imagine your option, you're buying at $500 an option, watching it go down to like 50 cents, and then a few days later seeing it 2K, 400%, 2K, 2.5K. The only reason why that happened was, pay attention, people, it happened because the big picture was correct. You can't make money. So it's not like you simply can buy an idea, buy an option, okay? You need a strategy. And this is where I come in, a strategy. So everything you see, I have a plan. I look at the op, and I think about this case scenario, what the market conditions are, and what's the best probability to, in case we have any issues, that we can still make a positive gain if everything holds support levels, in case we have, because the market throws things that nobody can foresee, right? So like temporary shocks. But if the market then works that shock off in time, and it usually does, right? Especially the big picture, you gain your money. If Amazon definitely wants to rise, but obviously it can get pulled back temporarily due to political issues. but it doesn't. It wants to go higher. This stock, when the market, this thing can rally. You can go 200 points in your favor, okay? And if you're mentally ready, if whatever you lose, you'll get it back and then some when you're mentally prepared with the right strategies. But you can't do that as a scalper. You have to decide what you want to be, a scalper or a big winner. And I assure you that a big winner will always listen. We can have 20 losers. And that doesn't happen. But for example, and one of my winners are so big, they take care of those smaller losses and turn to large winners. Like the FedEx trade is a perfect example. There's many like that, like Google. And I have this, by the way, people. That's right. Okay, so Pradeep there understands. So Pradeep trust example. So Pradeep's been this other guy is a clown. We don't want to listen to the clown. We don't want to listen to clowns because I'm trying to educate people. So let's talk about education, people. So let's talk about facts, okay? I'm talking about facts, and my facts are undeniable. So look at people. I wanna pull up. I want to go to my. I want to educate people. So now that you're in my live stream, people, right? I'm going to do. I gotta go to my. Just give me a second, people. Give me a second. I hope this video is clear. I really do. I mean, because for me, I don't know why it does not look clear, but regardless. So here we are, people. Customization. So what you want to do, people, is you want to study this created playlist, okay? And when you click on here, right, for example, you'll see that there are going to be a list of videos, okay? And you'll see them. And you go through them all, and it shows you. And these are captures of times that show you everything, right? Now, I'm a little bit busy on the health side, but there's a lot of good information. I talk about fasting, but it really requires a right kind of mindset, right? So you can check a lot of my stuff that I'm doing. You know, there isn't anybody that in my field that is going to come close to me on these two metrics, health and wealth, people. But right now, I'm going to focus on the wealth. So I'm not going to be talking about the health. The health, if somebody really wants to talk to me about that, they can. But you should check out these videos. I will be doing more when I do have time. I'm really focusing on the big picture. So listen, people, the created playlist, okay? You see, you should listen to all my videos. Now, when you do that, right, even on anything, the videos, they show you the mindset. They show you plans. They show you the option prices. And they show you the end result, okay? And you can't be correct like this. Like, you know, I have the doc, like over here, if we click on this one over here, let's see if we can go to, it'll show you like the FedEx one. I think this is the FedEx one. Yeah, no, this is July 19th. There's other ones. So this is really some old videos, but let me go over here. There's so many, like, you got to go into this list, and you can see that there's a list of videos, okay? Each separate has, there's other ones that have more. I have to divide them up and everything. But if you listen to a lot of work it took, by the way, that's another thing. I take pride in my plans, and I showcase them. All these winning plans over the year, all difficult, like Tesla to Twitter to all key kinds of stocks, massive plans. You have to take time to go through this all, but it's all here, right? And then, of course, the new ones or anything that I do. And you want to study my live stream, my created playlist. And then what you want to do is you want to do retweets and likes. So you see all this activity. So that's why you don't see people. You know why people do the retweets and likes? Because they appreciate what I do. They are members in my group. And they take, see, you won't see, like, for example, people who have a lot of followers, but they don't have this kind of activity, retweets and like. There's no respect to those people. People think it's about how many followers you have. It's really the quality is more, and what I look for is quality over quantity. Quality trumps quantity anytime. Trust me on this metric. I'd rather have 200 intelligent followers or people that want to make money. They will make more, invest more, learn more than the lazy people who don't really care or look to pay only a small fee to learn or to make money, which they never do. So anyways, because they just don't have the right mindset. I teach a different mindset, and you can see all my plans. They have direction. Now, can they be? Now, again, these are still all in action here. The thing that they are planned, okay. And anyways, what you want to do is retweets and likes. Now, what happens is after you do the retweet, you want to do 10 of them. What you want to do is you're going to go over here and you're going to type PowerTarget and make sure you have a profile. By the way, what you should do is also study this video because I can't tell you everything. But what I'm saying is there's a pinned tweet video. Study what it says, but basically you want to have a profile pic. And that could be a stock chart success or a picture of yourself. Once you do the retweets and likes, simply what you want to do is send me a message on Power Group Trades. So you got to type Power Group Trades in the search box. It'll pick that up. You send me a message and you tell me why, and this is very important, why do you want to become a member? Now, I found that people who take the time to do these things, they are truly serious people. And I have a lot of them. And that's my new metric. That's why I have so many people on the waiting list to get into Power Group Trades, but I don't put them in because they don't follow rules. So I don't want them. Like, it's not about how many followers that are in the group or people. It's the quality, because I know the quality people. Look, I have many people that send me gifts out of free will. You know, they send the gifts. They send the gifts out of respect, and I have documented videos to show this. That's what I'd rather have than teach people, you know, phony things. You know what I mean? I teach people the truth, right? And then I make these videos to teach people the truth. I make these videos to teach people the truth. All right, people. And let me just get my thing back here. So this live stream, it's going to have information. If you look through, if you miss it, let's say you want to watch my live streams, every word that I say, and then also take my advice and think about what I'm saying, because you know what? You have to do some due diligence yourself. You have to think a little bit. Like, don't take my word for it, but think about what I'm saying. Do some research. Look at the stock charts. Think about what this guy's saying. Is there any? And then you'll see the truth when you're open-minded. But if you're closed-minded, right, you don't want to look at the truth. Like, look at everything. You look at all my YouTube, all my videos. They have a message, and they really tell you the truth. They really do. So let me go to my video manager here so I can see what's going on. Give me a sec here, people. And then I'm going to see if there's any. A lot of people like to hear what I say. We're going to be keeping these to an hour, people. Positive. Regardless of what happens, you know, there's going to be negative situation. I sent 2 gifts, respect. Yeah, you did, right? That's right, Matt. That's right. Matt sent me gifts. A lot of people sent me gifts. And that out of free will. And that a lot of people like this Can Con Die can't get. No one's going to give him a gift because he offers no value. He has no profile pic. He has no channel, and they just guess and they assume and they talk and they flap their mouth, but they don't have any proof. So I do. I have a lot of documented proof on my channel, and what I try to do on my YouTube channel is teach the facts, the truth. It's not about. It's about showing the truth, the facts. And I know what I'm saying is true because it's happened. I've proven it over and over again, you know, through difficult times, right? So lately it's been difficult, right? And we haven't been making the greatest gains. It's like making gains and losing some gains, making gains. Way I do things, it's not being the most productive for me. But I do know that as soon as everything clicks, believe me, I've seen it. Listen, I tell you people the truth, honestly. That day when the market came back like this, I was underwater, not just BA. It was a whole bunch of positions. It came back all and then some because the big picture was correct. So I'm honest with you. You know, we sometimes get stuck. You know, We're losing money. And like in FedEx, I was losing money. It was 50%. 3 days before the massive run, I called that because I could tell by the metrics of how things were moving. I says, we're going to be smiling. Word for word, what I said, people, happened. And that is powerful proof. The, the stock clown, he knows that, because he was actually selling. In fact, truth be told, the guy was bearish, shorting this stock. Especially in the 200s, 200, it was too high. And see what I'm getting at is that this is called massively, I call massively incorrect. Because when you're short from 200 and then 220 and then 240, because you think everything's a bad, no. Listen, stocks do go down, and they're bad ones, they do go down. Oh yeah. But it's the bad stocks. It's like the guy was bearish Win, right, and didn't realize that how he didn't, even though Win collapsed because the stock had problems. But when those problems weren't there, like Win, I'll give you an example, right? This is why that guy who thinks he's right has no skill. Even to this day, it's still not much lower. Look, it was even had 122. Now this guy was shorting it at 106. So can you imagine you being wrong, like from here? No word of a lie, right? So you're shorting the stock, saying it's a thing, and it keeps going higher and higher and higher, right? And it hit a high of what? But what happened with Win, and this is negative patterns, what happened with Win is that there were issues with it, and it fell due to issues that the company has, right? But in its heyday, when it didn't have those issues, or the issues that were building, when the guy was bearish, those issues were not issues to be bearish the stock. And in other words, he couldn't identify. This is why they're scalpers. Scalpers are wrong, massively wrong. I'm right massively, and that's a big difference. The guy who's right massively will always win the most money, always. And my YouTube channel teaches that and proves that over. If you could study, listen, you could look at if I were you, to find out the truth, if you're on the fence of things, study my videos, spend hours. I made them for the people who some people don't want to spend hours. They look at a few videos, they understand right away, or they believe me right away. Boom, they come in. Then there's some people that say they need more. I've answered those people. I come to the live streams. I talk to people. I talk about the big picture, and I've been right. I've been leading since February 11, 2016. Correct the majority, not all the time, but the majority of the time. That's why I have serious people following. People giving me gifts because they seen that even them know that no matter what, every method has its issues, or going to have some issues due to, in this case, political issues. There is no method. Every method will. Anybody claims that they are making money because they think the market when it flipped 1,100, 1,000. You heard what I said. It was the biggest point move on a positive day in history. Yours truly called for it. I call for something bigger than that, right? I said 2,000 points, right? So the 2,000 point, what does it signify? A strong move is coming. Word for word, what I said happened. I take pride in that. I called it anyway in the negativity, because what I saw in what key stocks were doing. I go, we're going down. We're going down by force. Because the market is angry, angry at political problems. One of the reasons why the market has these issues or has these downturns is due to political issues, especially now. Anyways, when we had the Korea stuff, remember people, the market. But as soon as the Korea was out of the issue, flew, and then the clown who was bearish cried, "Wow, wow, grandma, whatever." You know what I'm saying, people? Because listen, they don't want to listen to the market. They want to say they know more than the market. And that's the big mistake. I don't know. Listen, nobody can understand why the market will do everything. But what I do is I have a set of powerful rules that continuously work more often than not. And scary. If it's scary, in fact, it's so scary correct. Like it's very powerful, the stuff I have. Like it's very powerful metrics, very powerful metrics, very powerful. That I can assure you. What about Apple? What's the question here? Well, reality with Apple right now is that it's down. From what I understand, it's due to the China stuff about China. But the amount of money that Apple makes, or how much Apple can, Apple set itself up as a comeback stock too, right? So it's definitely not the leader. It was the leader. Look at it. Listen, when it went to 230, listen, the naysayers who say that Apple should be lower, they were saying that when Apple was at 180, right? When Apple had earnings. So what I'm trying to say is, the answer, crypto. Nobody really knows what the big picture, in my opinion, is. Apple will be higher, is going higher. But even the best have their downturns. And innovation has nothing to do. They have a systems and set that they should invest in ways to make money. You can always hire people to help innovate or help the company out, right? It's just investing. Really, it comes down to investing money in the right people, and they have the money to do that, right? Because theoretically, a lot of people will say, well, Apple's going off of the steam of Steve Jobs, right? Now, here's the thing, people. A lot of people were thinking that Steve Jobs was a wacko. Like, for example, I told the story when the iPhone came out, Steve Ballmer, a billionaire, okay? He's not a businessman, top businessman. It's not a nobody, okay? But it doesn't mean everybody thinks it's not about the money, it's about the vision. See, here you got Steve Jobs, okay? What is the value of a mind like him? It's what took the company to where it is now. In fact, his ideas are so powerful that all they had to do is improve certain things or at least maintain it, and they were able to do that. And off of already his ideas, and while the company Apple goes up, a lot of companies went downhill, like Microsoft. They had to reinvent themselves, Microsoft, and they are smaller, much smaller company now. And they don't make as much money as Apple, not nearly. Like, people don't realize how much money Apple makes, even though they're having not as much, call it a downturn, or for whatever. They're still making more money than one product from Apple is making more money than all the products of Microsoft combined. And Microsoft, once upon a time, was higher. So what's the difference? Both companies have a lot of money, but what changed? The mind. Mind is more powerful than money. That's why I talk about health and wealth, right? Health, right? The mind is more powerful than any amount of money. Money money can come and go. Listen, BlackBerry was once RIM, which is Research in Motion, was the top of the heap in the communications and phones and stuff. It was BlackBerry, okay? People were using BlackBerry, okay? But they didn't see what Steve Jobs saw with the phone's potential, and the company said, "We're gonna back you up." And so the company has, they take a chance, right? And look where it brought them, right? They practically, everybody's playing. Even though people may say that they're better than Apple, they all wanted to emulate and become. They had to copy. They didn't do anything new. All they've done is copy Apple too. Everybody talks about copying this. They copy Apple too, right? And if it wasn't for Apple, there wouldn't be, like, Samsung wouldn't be making their phones if it wasn't for Apple. See, who popularized? Did Samsung come out with the smartphone first? No, they copied Apple. Then they start to be able. People say, oh, they're making better phones than Apple. But who got that in motion? It wasn't. They don't have the operating system to get it going, right? They're using Google's operating system. But people out to lunch. See, that's why, in terms of thinking, they don't know how to break things down like me. Okay? How I explain it to them, and I break things down in a manner. Imagine you have this kind of mindset, thinking about making money in the market. Do you want this kind of mindset, or do you want a little scalper that's going above this line, going above that line, 20 minutes, 20 minutes? I use everything. Listen, I use all time frames, 3 minutes, 5. To solve a problem, I use all time frames. All kinds of time frames I use to solve problems of where things should go. Okay, so I've given enough examples in this live stream of the powerful message of what I can do. and what I have behind. None of these traders can do what I do. They don't have this mindset, okay? When you have I'm an unlimited person. Okay? My value is bigger than all the billionaires combined, okay? You can the right mind can swallow them all up. I'm telling you, people, money, it's not money, it's this. The power of the mind and the health can swallow everything up. This is why the lowest, Apple was at a bankrupt. Let's think about this. Apple was a bankrupt company once upon a time. And most people, like a stock clown who are always bearish things, they are not optimistic like someone like me. The optimistic people that have vision always win, always succeed. And the pessimistic people always stay small like pebbles. This is a reality, people. Do they have enough cash to buy Tesla? Oh, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so you see what I'm saying, people? So everything that I said in this live stream, it gives you something to really think about. Like, it's educating you in a different, more powerful way. And I start thinking about things always like this. I start thinking about things, and it's like, look at Tesla, for example. Like, this is a company that theoretically listen, Tesla, let's talk about Tesla here, okay? Tesla still remains, in less negative market conditions, a $300+ stock. Now, the stock clown called it the same thing at 280. Still wrong in the big picture, because they make money through a guessing mechanism. They don't really know. They're not sure of themselves, right? And that's why they're very bitter people, you know? They don't look good. They don't have their health, you know? Ask them to show their health, and they show their health. Anyways, people, in reality is that this is Tesla is a visionary stock, you know, that a lot of car companies are. It's just like Apple when with their iPhone. Let's just say the only difference with Tesla is to make these cars. They're hard to make, you know, to make in time. It's a big item, okay. But the reason why this stock price is where it is not because of the money that they're making right now. It's the possibility of what they can do, how much money they can do. And they actually have them in. Anytime they make a product, people buy their products. They're lining up with their checkbooks to buy. GM can make the cars, but there's nobody wants to buy the cars. This is why they had to restructure. They can make the cars, but nobody wants. They can't. They couldn't make an electric car good. Their electric car, that, from what I understand, that they made was garbage. They want to make electric cars. I'm saying they can't. These guys make electric cars that are so amazing. People want to buy them. And they're not just buying one. They want to buy several of the cars. If people have the money, the dollar bills, they want to buy more of them. They want to buy their next generation. Why is that? Right? So then you have these bearish people, like the thing is a bearish, but that don't see that. They think differently, right? They're not the biggest, smartest, richest people in the world, right? See, Warren Buffett looked out of the positive of why something could go up, and that's why, and do well. And this is why he's one of the best, you know, because he can invest that way. He made the most money, right? It's selection. Remember, I do something very similar, but it's more hard to do because with options we don't have one factor. We have to time things, in which I do very well majority of the time, and catch something so that people can afford to invest in stocks like a Tesla or a BA or an Apple through options, because a lot of people can't buy 1,000 shares of Tesla. Let's get real. Okay, how many people are going to be buying 1,000 shares of Tesla at these prices? There are rich people going to be buying this, very wealthy people buying a Tesla, and people that are very wealthy still has bought Amazon, even when Amazon was okay. Let's put up Amazon here. You think that there are people buying the stock still? The reason why volumes aren't as high is because the price of the stock, right? My volume is not here on here, but what I'm saying is this, people. I'm pretty sure there were people buying this, right around in the $1,000 area. So, oh, it's too high. Amazon, like the clown would say, it's too high. It's a bubble. Goes to 2,000. Little scalper mind. Can't see the big picture. Remember, who won the game, people? Scalper mind or big picture? Big picture. I show this in video. Big picture always win. But in order to win, you need to create the right mindset and strategies. And you will win, but you got to keep at it. Because with options, we have one problem. We have time. And sometimes some plays won't work, but the secondary one will. Even the third one will. If it creates the signal. Sometimes things get sidetracked for the wrong reasons, like what happened with BA. But as soon as the issues were rectified, let's put up BA, right? So why did BA do this and then ratchet up like that? Due to certain pieces of information that came out. But the big picture, they want to send this stock, in my opinion, they're setting this up 400 in big long term. 400, 440, 460 type of area. So 400 plus BA. This will be documented. The big picture. Especially if all goes well. Right now, we're still needing a few more pieces of information. But right now, as it stands, and I always update things, that's the big picture. BA, 400 plus stock. So, in order to be, even billionaires, they want to know from somebody, what's the big picture, Sandro? Where should we put our money? What's the strategy here? Why? Because they want to, you think that Warren Buffett's selling his shares and buying. No, the guy, it's big picture. It's big picture, making the dollar bills. You can never win the big picture. Dude, picture, everybody loses money. Is Warren Buffett losing money here and there sometimes? Yes, he is. But is he losing the big picture? No. And that's our strategy. Same thing. So if you're tired, you're going to get burnt out, trust me. I've been at this so long that the little so-called scalpers, they get their 1 week or 1 month hiatus and then they're suffering for 6 months. Remembering that 1 month hiatus, they burn out, they go mental, their health deteriorates, they become overweight, sick, weak, go crazy, and so on and so forth. My method, the opposite. You become powerful. You learn how to become successful, especially when you're sticking to what I say, my rules, my plans are having me be the leader. You're just going to succeed in life. Like, you see, I talk about health and wealth and all these things. That's what you want to listen to. Somebody that does these things. And not only do I do it myself. Like, if I make my plans to make money for myself, whether I make money or I don't make money in some of my plans. Those plans were designed because I want to make money just like everybody else wants to make money. A lot of people put out plans, services, they put out plans, they don't even go in their own money in there. They just pop, that's why they pop 20, 30 plans. There's no heart. There's no care. They don't care. They have no skill. So I'm here to help educate the people that are you tired of the no skill people. You want to follow me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Ask me questions. If happen to ask me smart questions when you have a chance. Oh, stock market guys here. Yo, Sandra, I've been watching. Yeah, but Win, I don't really care about Win stock market investing. I don't really care about Win. I just talked about Win as an example. I don't really like this stock, to be honest with you. It's just that I had gotten with a battle with which is a waste of time, anyways. With someone I call the stock clown, and I was massively correct, the big picture, while he was massively wrong, right? Because that's why I brought this up, because he was short, like no word of a lie, since right over here, 106 area. And he called me crazy for saying that it should go higher, and it did go higher. Massively higher, by the way. The only reason why he went lower isn't because he had skill, because he was shorting it at 106. It just happened to be due to that the company had some corruption and problems to it, right? This was not one of, I made plans for this one, but it was not one of my best winning. I never really liked this stock. the most. And that's another lesson too. I focus on what makes the most sense to me as well. So it's not about being right every stock. Like some of the keys is to focus on the best, and sometimes it's too many good ones, and you have to even narrow that down. I love it that way. Like sometimes, if for example I have there's like 20 stocks I like, they're all good. I narrow it down to a smaller list, or but try to keep it into the top five, top six. Always that way. In my strategy, what's the best possibility, lowest risk, high return. That's how you make money. And then even when you lose, the winners pay the losers 10 times. Listen, no, truth be told, FedEx, 50% against, 1,000 for you. What does that mean? Honestly, $1,000 down on one of my plans on FedEx, okay, and it turned to 2,000 a piece. So your 1,000 goes to 20K. So a person with a small account, right? Like I gave the example, buys 1,000. Not that they would, but I just show you the power. I wouldn't tell somebody to buy $1,000 worth of options if they only have a $3,000 account. But let's say they did, even half of it. So if they put 500 down, that 500 had the possibility to turn to 10,000, which some of it they could have lowered down. At least some of their options could have at least got minimum 7,000, 7K from a $500 investment in that $3,000 account from one of my plans. You see, but you need big picture, and because I always write the big picture, where the clown, if you listen to the clown, you would have lost money, big time. Like the guy was short this because when you're short and something goes massively against you like this, and you're continuously shorting, you even want to short over here. Gonna short, it's too high, FedEx. It goes up higher. It's too high. We're gonna short it. It's gonna fill the gap. It goes up higher. It filled the gap eventually, but it went much higher. Clown, guessing, assuming. Doesn't work. Focus on what makes sense, people. Focus on the highest probability. Get yourself into power group trades. Study my created playlist on my YouTube channel. Okay, created playlist. I showed it inside this live stream. I show you what to do. Become a member inside of Power Group Trades. Come to my live streams, and you're going to start changing your mindset as you see these things. But it's all documented. All you have to do is really, you don't even need. If you were to study, like that's why my created playlist can fast track you into really understanding the big picture, what it's about. By watching enough of those videos, I've taken the time to do this. It's a lot of time consuming. It's crazy amount of time to make all those videos that I made to show. Because there's a lot of heart in there, people. That's the difference. That's why nobody does what I do. They're giving people's plans and they don't care about. I care about my plans. That's the difference. I really put a lot of heart and soul into my plans. That's why I know we're going to win the big picture. I have this confidence because I go into everything that I say, and I've watched how things unfold. Thank you. Thank you, sir. But all I'm doing, my friend, I don't know your name because it's in Chinese here. Is this Chinese name? Are you Chinese? I don't know your name. It says thank you, but you Chinese, right? It's Chinese. It looks like Chinese. Oh, Hebrew. Oh, so you're right, Hebrew. That's right. Jewish. Fantastic people, Jewish people. Smart people. Good people. I live in a Jewish. Well, I've gone to school with when I was going to I gone to school with Jewish people. I had Jewish friends, so hardworking people, and they got a good martial art. Krav Maga, you kick-ass martial art, but that's not talked about. It teaches you how to destroy your opponent very quickly. This is why. Do I know Krav Maga now, stock clown? So, like, honestly, he probably doesn't even know what Krav Maga is, right? But I do. So, why do I do? Because, a lot of Jewish people know what not all of them do, but some do know what Krav Maga is. I don't know if I wonder if I'm saying it correctly. Oh, crap, yeah. Yeah, but it's not about. I don't know if they have black, because it's not about black belts. It's really about experience. I don't. They could be. I'm not sure about this if they have a black belt system. If that's the true thing, but it's an Israeli martial arts, really. So, another education, people. So you want to learn how to defend yourself. Learn that. Yeah, it's not it's a rank more. Yeah, okay. It's a rank. Okay. Yeah. So what that does is it teaches you how to finish your opponent off very quickly. Right? So they're going for the throat. Example. It's not like a typical fight, right? It's more like because they use it. You know, we're talking about it's life or death situation in certain situations. Well, you know, defending against maybe even getting out of a gun situation. But you know, but anyways, my point is that you know that's their martial art. That's right. I mean, you try not to fight, right? You try not to fight. It's not that Krav Maga is not about fighting. It's about fighting if you have no choice. Some people, you know, you have bad people in the world that you have to, like a clown, you have to take them out quickly. You know what I mean? And that's why you have no choice. They're just evil, destructive people that you have to take them out. You know what I mean? You have no choice, right? You can't speak with people like that. You have to take them out. Boom. You know what I'm saying? And not telling people to be. You want to be. Listen, we should be respectful about each other. We shouldn't be fighting with each other, right? This is a problem. But if obviously if the world was perfect, we wouldn't have all these military weapons, right? Well, people aren't speaking to each other, so there's always a use of force. So sometimes force is needed, right? This is why you have all these weapons. So much money spent on weapons instead could have been spent on making how do we make life better for everybody. So much money is if there's another quick point to think about, people, that imagine we had a world where we didn't have to have all this military and that money was put on making life better for the humankind. You see how the world still doesn't work properly. There's a lot of ways to improve things. The thinking metrics aren't there, right? How do we make life easier for people, better for people, right? And make technology work for people instead of against people. That's why, and when I'm talking about everybody works less, still it makes more. It's not that work mentality. Anyway, that's why the world is not like that. It's not designed that way right now. It's really for certain people to make more and most people to make less. Therefore, we have this health problems. And anyways, that's another story, people. But you can see, like, I understand bigger realities than most people are educated to think. Because most people are still thinking mainstream, wrong. And the way they invest is mainstream, wrong. Like the stock clown, wrong. With the big picture. So, that said, I would mention him very, very seldomly. But, the focus is on the education, what I said. I talked about a lot of other things, people. Yeah. So, you know what, it's amazing. I love talking to people. I have to cut it short, people. I have to say that's the end, people. Let's have a good night. I think this is a very good live stream. Make sure you listen to everything. A lot of powerful words and explanations have been made here. And big picture always wins, people, is my thing. You want to get into my, you want to study my creative playlist. Thank you. Well, what's your name can you, what's your English name? Like, how do you say your name in English? Oh, Nathan, yeah. Why don't you have it listed as Nathan? Oh, Nat. Well, okay, that's what you say, Nat. Nathan. Yeah, but even Nat, Nathan. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's one of my friends, one of my good Jewish friends, but he wasn't really he wasn't like, you have different type of Jew. You have the religious Jewish people, and you have the regular guy. Not everyone's religious. So one of my, Miguel, one good Jewish friend I had when I was younger was Miguel. His name was Miguel. I know the Jewish girls, or eat. There's they got all these different ganit. They have the eat, ganit, to read. There's all these type of anyways. I know the anyways. Um, stock market stock market trading. Yes. Is there anything you want to say, stock market guy? Anything you want to say, my friend? Thank you, my friend. I like you too. Well, yeah, I mean, but laugh to the fact of reality of what's true. Yeah, well, it's yeah. Thank you very much. It's just how I feel about how things are, and I know what I see. Everything I say is true. There's no false. There's nothing false what I say. What the stock con says is false, but what I say is true. And as I tell people, study my created playlist, right? I mean, very few, and I'm not lying to you. Very few people do this. They take the time to make that videos and show step by step the truth. They don't do that. They don't take that pride in their plans. I do. That's the proof, people. I take that pride. I don't just put a plan for fun. I really want that dollar bills, my saquette in my pocket. Okay? I want those dollar bills, and I make a plan for those dollar bills. Sometimes things are not going to work out due to certain unforeseen political, but in majority of the times when we have the right mindset, oh, don't worry about it. With the right strategies and of course management, you will always succeed. I guarantee you this. I put my heart and soul into success for everyone. Well, not for just for myself, but for everybody in my group. All right, people. Let's keep it. Let's take it day by day. Obviously, we're gonna want what I say happen. It's gonna be better for everybody. But let the market tell us, and we still hasn't given us. We still gotta get some. We were very close to. I mean, we'll see what. Listen, we're gonna take a day, but I will give you updates. The market, in my opinion, still favors higher prices, but we have some. We need to get some political issues straightened out, and then the market's happy, and then it will pay back the negativity. Especially, we're ready for it by being in the right plans. Boom, boom, like this, the market it will pay you back. But as soon as you step away, as soon as you let fear, as soon as you let the wrong decisions guide you, as soon as you're not focused, the market will fly away with you, and you will miss it, and you won't be mentally prepared. So you have to be at it all the time. Just like health and wealth, you have to be at your health. You have to do something for your health every day. We have one body, people. A lot of people. One quick message, people. A lot of people take their own health and they put it on the back burner. They don't invest enough in themselves. And you are worth. There is no value. Like if you were to go, like if this stock market guy, good night guy, if stock market investing, I'm not sure his name, but let's say he was no more. You can't buy him back. There's no value in a person's life and the thing. You can't. Let's say they want Steve Jobs back. They can't buy him back. They can give the whole value of the company's worth. They can't get Steve Jobs to come back. So your time here, your buying, theoretically, you can be very healthy. Listen, people, look up a barber. The guy, okay, this he's healthy. Not that he's thing, but 107-year-old barber cuts hair, talks. So, and he doesn't even know all the health metrics that I talk about. We're not as old as we think we are. We age faster due to neglect, self-neglect, and chasing money over health first. So it should be health, then wealth. And this is, nobody said it to you like this. And even a lot of very well people still don't understand what I'm talking about. They put the wealth before their health. Big mistake. Think about it carefully. When you have your health, there is unlimited amounts of money you can make, and you don't even care, because once you have a certain amount of money, you don't even need it. It's just about building things with that money. You can only do so much with money. Then it's about what do you build with that money, right? Or what positive things can you do to help people in this world? Because that's what people remember you by. They don't remember you by the Ferrari you drove or the cars you're driving. They remember what you've done. Right? They're going to be remembering when they remember. If anybody remembers Steve Jobs, they remember him for not the possessions that he had, but what he did for the company. They think about that. They don't think about he was walking around with jeans. He didn't care the way he is. He didn't buy that most fancy. He could have the best clothes, but that's not what he was about. He was about building something, that brand. And he had a purpose in life. That's what I'm talking about, people. Money, health builds everything. You have the money, everything you need, but with health, it's a bigger purpose. You can do more positive impact and helpful to the world with the health. Even when you have a skill. So if Steve Jobs had his health, what could he have accomplished? He could have made Apple a $2 billion company. I'm telling you, people. With the health, though. Anyways, people. Good night, people. I went a little longer than in anticipation, but you know what? Certain interesting things to talk about come up, you know. And I like to talk too much too sometimes. Have a good night, people.